Tens of thousands of mail ballots have been tossed out in this year's primaries. What will happen in November? So many years I've been watching elections. And they say the projected winner or the winner of the election. I don't want to see that take place in a week after November 3rd or a month or, frankly, with litigation and everything else that can happen, years. I'd love to see voter ID. I also don't want to have to wait for 3 months and then find out that the ballots are all missing. Do I want to see a date change? No. But I don't want to see a crooked election. This election will be the most rigged election in history if that happens.
In this past week, Trump has been showing his true fascist colors. In this past week, Trump has said he won't accept the election results. He said he's talking about pushing back the election, and he's sending more federal troops to American cities. I mean, he is just breaking the law more and more, just trying to be a dictator. I mean, he is the total opposite of being American. And he's doing this because his numbers are failing. In the polls, it is horrible. He is losing to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is nowhere to be found. And that has a lot to say. And so since he's losing, he's attacking his political opponents. He's attacking basically people on the left, just basically throwing out red meat to his base in the Republican Party. I mean, a new Gov poll shows Biden winning by 4 points. This poll just came out July 30th. Some polls even show Biden up by 51% and Trump down by 40%. There are polls even showing that Texas is a toss-up state and that Biden is leading in some polls. In Texas, Republican Texas is going to Joe Biden. Trump is losing he's just losing. And so he's acting crazy. He's attacking his political opponents. And the whole reason that he's trying to move back the election is because he feels like there's going to be huge voter fraud. But voter fraud that's not even a real issue. This is a narrative that he's trying to not have the 2020 election legitimate. He's trying to delegitimate the 2020 election. I'm gonna throw some facts. Since 2004, Arizona State University has kept a database of every presidential election, and their sole purpose is to analyze votes and look for election fraud. Since the creation of this database, they have only had 491 cases of fraud, of election fraud. So in 4 elections since 2004, there's been less than 500 cases of election fraud. This is a fake issue. And what people are not understanding is the mail-in voting that he's talking about is just like absentee voting. It is the same exact thing. It is something that we have. It's a system that we already have in place.
I was watching Trump talking, and he first of all, like, who do you think you are, Trump? I mean, come on. You want to push back the election date, something that has never been done, and then that's completely out of your hands. I mean, only Congress can push the election date back, can delay the election date, and they're saying it's not going to happen. So whatever the plan was, whatever the fake issue is that he's talking about that could potentially be a problem, it's not going to be a problem. It never has been a problem. And, you know, he said that it was this is going to be the most rigged election ever. He also said the same thing when he won in 2016. Exactly. So what does that go to show you? I mean, he's so, I don't know, it's hard to explain Donald J. Trump as a person, as an American too, because all I see is basically like dictatorship. It's like he wants to be in control of everything, and he just needs to get in his head it's just not going to happen. And Trump also thinks that, I mean, he also said that he is not willing to accept the results of the election. So I don't know. It's kind of, you put two and two together. Okay, he's saying that the election is going to be rigged, but then he's saying he's not willing to accept the results of the election. So what is his big plan? You know, with these fake kind of he's actually kind of admitting something that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah,
You know, with the whole this being the mail-in ballots being a big fraudulent issue, it hasn't happened yet. It's not going to
exactly.
happen. It didn't happen in the past. It's not going to happen now. So, like you said, it's something that was already in play anyway. So I don't know, Trump. You know, maybe he was absent during that time. You know, that maybe he don't know that this has always been in play, because it is the same as absentee uh, voting. So if it hasn't been an issue, a big enough issue to even cause a problem in the past, is he planning on making it be a problem now? Is he planning some
Exactly.
devious things or something? We don't know, but you know, maybe that's his concern. Maybe he's planning something devious and he's trying to, because you notice he's trying to throw the whole thing off on the Democrats.
Exactly.
He's trying to throw it on the Democrats, but no, it's not on the Democrats, because the Democrats are not saying that the election is going to be rigged. The Democrats are not trying to push off the election day. So I don't know, man. It's just he's in his own world, bro. He's in his own world, and I would quite like if he would stay in his own world, but away from everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just shows that even the fact that we're even talking about this, we're talking about this would be the first time in American history that we didn't have a peaceful transfer of power. If he says he doesn't agree with the election, or if he's like, or if he just if he makes a claim that the whole entire thing is a fraud, his base will eat it up, and then who's to say if he'll leave? He might make he might just make a flunk about it and try and stay. And the thing is, it's like, well, does he have any real power to stay? I mean, the only people that can keep him in is the military, and the military is sworn to serve the president. So if he's not the president, but who's to say that there's not any crazy people to just be like, well, I agree with Trump more than, I believe what Trump believes. I feel like 2020, we're in such strange times. I wouldn't be surprised if some commanding officers left their rank to defend Trump. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can totally see that happening, man. Totally see that happening. The truth about it is once the new president is inaugurated, then Trump has to leave. You know, if he's still in the White House after that, refusing to leave, he'll be considered an unwelcome guest,
yeah,
and he'll be escorted out. But like you said, like Trump he has a lot of followers, and a lot of his followers are just as crazy as he is. So
exactly.
we never know what to expect from his followers, just like we never know what to expect from him. Being in that dictatorship kind of aspect and mind frame that he has, who knows, man? He could be planning something in case if he does lose. You know, it's like whatever happens, it can't be unexpected. Like it's like
Yeah.
you should expect something crazy to happen with him.
Exactly, but that's the thing, and we're already starting to see him send federal troops into cities like Portland. Actually, the federal troops just left. They left on Friday, but he's sending more troops to cities like Detroit, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. So, and all of these cities are Democratic led cities. So he just the fact that he's basically attacking his political opponents, and using federal power, using these federal troops, abducting people. I mean, this is crazy. This is stuff you see in a banana republic. This is stuff you see in in countries that America comes to liberate. I mean, who's going to come liberate us? I'm pretty sure Trump is breaking international laws.
Yeah. And what are they doing with these people? Are they ever seen or heard of again after this?
Man, some people, so look, some people have come out and they are taking away their First Amendment right, saying that they can no longer protest and that they can no longer assemble. And you can't do that to American people. Those are your natural rights. You cannot go in there and be like, I'm gonna, okay. And the thing was, they were holding these people hostage. It was either you sign the waiver and you can't protest anymore, or you stay in jail for however long. I mean, there's no really due process. Where's the due process? You can't just kidnap people off the streets and then haul them off in vans. That is crazy.
Yeah.
This is like Nazi Germany. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy, man. And who knows where is he going to deploy troops to before, before the election, um,
Exactly.
and what he has planned, what he's going to do. So, like I said, man, it has to not. We have to not be surprised by anything that he does, but we should always expect the craziest from him and his
Yeah.
followers. Um, so it's actually a pretty scary situation, dude, when you think about it, because he's the commander chief. He's the one in power right now, and unfortunately, he's not that stable when it comes to in terms of how he handles certain situations, how he handles protesting, how he's above the law. Like in his mind, like he feels like he can take your rights away and it's okay. And that just says dictator all over it, man.
Yeah,
All
it
over
does.
it.
All
He wants
over it.
to know everything, including all of the Americans. And people need to open their eyes and see what's going on, man. See that he's attacking the Democratic Party, and Trump will attack anybody if they don't stand with him. So
Exactly.
it's not about your color. It's not about any of that. It's who stands with him and who doesn't. If you don't do it his way, then he's against you. And if he's against you, you may be in position to receive worlds of trouble, man. To be in worlds of trouble from him. And
Yeah.
that's just not right. That's not how the country's supposed to be ran. And he's not a man who should have ever gotten in office, in my opinion.
Yeah. No. And you know how you get people out of office like that? You vote. That's why this just goes to show how important it is to be involved in politics, to know what's going on. Even if you're a Republican, you need to know who you're voting for. I mean, understand who Trump is. I mean, it's okay to have different political beliefs, but Trump being a fascist and a dictator, that is totally different. Him abducting people on the streets, that should concern anybody and everybody.
Yeah,
That is not something that just affects uh, Democrats and liberals and Marxists and socialists. That affects Republicans, libertarians, everybody, because that's a
yeah,
threat to our democracy and our civil liberties. So that's why it's so important to be involved in politics, understand who's running for office, vote, uh, be knowledgeable, be involved in your local politics. That's where the biggest impact affects you.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, man, that's really just all I could really say, man. It's just
And right
it's
now,
so important to be involved.
yeah, and right now, everyone knows Trump is losing his Republicans. Now, his
Yeah,
Republican followers, he's actually losing them as well because they're seeing who he is and what he really stands for and where he has the entire United States heading if he stays in office. So let's make him continue to lose those Republicans. Republicans, I'm thankful for the ones that standing up for what's right and what's important. Because you have to be able to prioritize what's important over, some kind of selfish desires or whatever. You have to look at the greater good, and you have to not look at just what someone tell you to look at, because then you'll only see part of the picture. So, you know, all of the Republicans and the Democrats who are voting, who are getting some things done, then those are the ones, you know, we want to actually help. And the way we help is, like you said, is by engaging in the vote and voting,
Yeah,
exercise your vote and make it happen. Like we
yeah,
always we get to the polls and make it happen, because it's our votes that's going to get him out of office and get a better president in office. And I do believe that Joe Biden can do much better than Trump, because Joe Biden does not strike me as a dictator. So we got
exactly.
the dictator out of office. So, and if he refuses to go after he's lost, we're gonna kick him out.
Right? Yeah, yeah. We gonna go in there and pull him out. You know?
He doesn't have the power to stay in anyway. So one
Yeah,
thing about Trump is, man, he's gonna very soon realize, if he haven't already, that he doesn't have the power that he thinks he has.
exactly.
He's not God of the majority as he think he is. Um,
Yeah.
and I can't wait. I want to see his face when he loses. Is that
Man, we
wrong?
only got a couple of more months. We're less than 100 days
Yeah.
before the election.
So I want to see his face. I wish I could just be right there standing next to him when he loses, because I know he's gonna lose. He knows he's
Yeah.
gonna lose. That's why he's
Oh yeah.
throwing all these crazy ideas out there. Um,
Exactly.
it is what it is, Trump. Accept your loss and move on, bro. That's all you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I need everybody to kill that like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any uploads. Thank you.